Welcome back, everybody. It is March 2nd, and just got some wood cut, and we're over here at the standing corn. And I have looked through here a few times this year, but it was about 4 days ago I seen the deer I call Swagger, that buck that spent a lot of time in Cherry Ridge, came across the road and into the corn, and he still had both sides just like 4 days ago. So if he dropped them anytime recently, they might be around here somewhere. And just want to go for a little bit of a walk and look through this corn. So we're gonna go ahead and do that and see if we stumble across something. This is shed hunting video number 5 now. There's still lots of deer coming in and out of here. Look at all the tracks. You guys are not gonna stinking believe this. This is absolutely incredible. Never seen anything like this in my life. So this deer right here is a deer that I call Swagger. It's a 9-point, and I found both of his sheds last year side by side right here in this cornfield, just like this. Well, as you guys can see, I'm in the standing corn. I've actually walked through this corn twice already this year, and I found one shed in it, and I've just stumbled across a match right here. And this is to a buck that I know really well. I actually seen it a whole bunch of times hunting. It's just a little 6-point that nearly every single time I archery hunted down in what we call Cherry Ridge, I had come by me. So I ended up calling him my little buddy because I seen him so much. I'll show you guys all the footage I took of him this year right now, and then we'll go ahead and pick him up. Let's go ahead and pick them up. Here we go. There's the right side and then the left side right together, or the left and right side. There he is. Pretty cool. That's my first side-by-side match this year. So that's 14 and 15 on here. It was just down toward the house a little bit. And if you come right over here, the deer that I call Rover, side by side set. Right there's one, right there's the other one. Unbelievable. They're literally 10 yards from each other right here in the corn. Talk about, what are the odds of that? I know that Swagger had his horns like 4 days ago. I watched him cross the road into the corn. So I have 2 years in a row, 2 sets of that deer, both of them found in the corn right here below the house. Crazy. Unbelievably lucky. My camera's about to die, of course. It's running out of battery. So we'll go up and grab the other camera and then we'll pick them up. I'm not leaving them here. We'll just run the camera until it runs out of juice. Look at that. Chocolate horns. I've got his last year's, like I said, so we'll match them up there. I know he just lost those not long ago. Let's go look at these other ones. This thing, before it dies. This is Rover. Unreal. That is crazy. 2 matching sets laying 10 feet from each other. Look at that. What? How lucky is that? Those are the other 2 bucks that I wanted to find. I've literally found all 3 of the bucks that I really wanted, you know, that I set out to find this year. Both of them laying side by side, 10 feet from each other. Right here in the corn. That's just incredible. There's one big 6-point left in here, and then there's another 2.5-year-old 8-point that horns are going to be right here close somewhere. But it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. We're going to go ahead and just keep looking around and see what else we find. I've got all the sheds from this year laid out on the kitchen table, and I just wanted to mention, you know, I want to pretty much talk about how cool it is to be able to let deer like that walk and have them make it throughout the entire season and then pick up their shed antlers. You know, a lot of people are like, well, you're nuts. You can't let a 3.5-year-old buck walk around here. Well, guess what? I let multiple 3.5-year-old bucks live this year, and proof's in the pudding. I just picked up their horns. They made it. You know, as long as you and your neighbors are pretty much on the same page with these deer, you can really grow. I mean, you can let these deer get to that age class that you need them to be to grow 130, 140 inch deer. It takes discipline, obviously. I've killed a lot of young bucks throughout my life. I'm at the point now where, you know, quite frankly, I want to see these deer live. I want to see them go to the next year. I want to see the potential that they have. And it's not really about, like, you know, as you mature as a hunter, you change. And for me, I've changed dramatically from when I started hunting to now. You know, I'm totally okay with going, you know, 3 or 4 years without putting a hole in a buck. If that means letting go 3.5-year-old bucks to have a chance at killing that deer as a 4.5 or 5.5-year-old deer. You know, Paul, the deer that I call Paul, is a perfect example. That deer made it to 5.5 this year, and it was so much fun each year to track that deer's movement and hunt those sheds and whatnot. And then for the hunter to kill him at 5.5, you know, the peak maturity for that deer, so to speak, is really exciting. And it's just like with Rover and Swagger. Swagger I had go by me during archery season numerous times this year at like 10 yards. He's got a really weird hip deal going on where he kind of wobbles and sways both ways, which is why I named him Swagger. That deer, I think, is a pretty pathetic 3.5-year-old buck when it comes to antler size, so we'll see what he does next year. He's certainly got a really small body compared to other 3.5-year-old bucks. If you watched in that video, Rover and Swagger cross the field below the house down here together, and you can see that Rover is a much bigger bodied deer, although I believe they're the same age. So it just goes to show you nutrition and, you know, obviously I think the hip issue that deer has might have something to do with him being just a smaller body deer. But he's a healthy deer. He held his antlers, you know, just till last week before he dropped them. So that tells me he's pretty healthy in that sense of nutrition-wise. But either way, I just wanted to show you guys how cool it is and how rewarding it is to let deer like that walk and then see it go full circle. So next year, you know, both those deer are going to be 4.5-year-old bucks, and you know, the neighbors, somebody's probably going to shoot them, and it's going to be really exciting to know that it was partly due to me that those deer got to that point. And that's another reason why I pack so much food around here. It's not just, you know, I don't just plant food plots just to kill deer. In fact, it's quite the contrary. It's almost like I plant these food plots to save these deer's lives. You know, if I can attract all the deer around here and get them and hold them right here close to us where we can let them live and thrive and make it to next year, it's better for everybody. It's just like I've grown bigger deer over the years just by, you know, holding them, and they're not traveling into other areas where they're going to get shot. So it's a win-win for everybody, essentially. You know, it's exciting to let deer like that go, and then they make it. And you know, year after year, you're going to see everybody that hunts in this area killing bigger and bigger bucks. It's just like this year with Brian and his brother killing Paul and Towers, and then we have, you know, it's just going to get better and better. The more bucks that you let live, the better your hunting's going to be. And of course, that's not everybody's goal. I understand that. You know, if you just want to go out there and whack a buck, that's perfectly fine. You know, you have to get out of hunting what you want, and you know, trophy hunting's not for everybody. And that's fine. I've just shot enough bucks over the years that I want to kill big bucks now, and it's more challenging, and it's really fun to learn that buck, understand that buck, and try to hunt that buck. Like, for me, to pick out a single deer like Wells or something and hunt that deer is so thrilling. It's more so than just hunting for me anymore. But anyways, let's show you these horns on the table. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this shed hunting video up. This was a pretty quick one. I was planning on doing a whole bunch of shed hunting this weekend, and obviously, since it's the weekend, it snows. I figured it out. You know, all week when I have to work and I don't have time to do anything, it's beautiful weather, no snow. Friday, bam, snows. Saturday, snow. Sunday, snow. It's amazing. Everything's against me with these sheds, but we're doing pretty good nonetheless. I'll show you the lineup here. So this is obviously HLB right here. And then you've got the two matches I found on this video. That's a deer that I call Swagger. That's a buck that I had go by me a few times in Cherry Ridge. This is his set from last year. Pretty interesting there. You can see, I think he was 2.5. I think this is a 2.5-year-old, and this is 3.5. He's a pretty small 3.5-year-old buck, that's for sure. This is a cool buck. This is a buck that I call Rover. He was crossing the road every night, coming out of the neighbors. And then obviously you've got HLB there. And then these are the ones that I found on the previous videos. So we're at, and I have a match that I left at Vern's house. So we're at 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sheds on the year. And then we have this broke off one, and then this deadhead that I cut the 2 off of. So we're doing good. We're gonna keep after it, everybody. Thanks for watching.